welcome back to India Post Live, India's first live news interactive conversation web portal. I'm Ms. Yama Bhutia. Well, in a grave ceasefire violation coinciding with Eid, Pakistani forces on Monday killed 5 Indian civilians and injured 34 others in cross-border fighting in Jammu sector. Well, the fighting drew strong reactions from the Indian side, and even the Indian forces retaliated very strongly with a green signal from the government. Well, so far 8 people have been killed in Jammu sector, while 13 have been killed in the Pakistani side. Well, before I take this conversation forward, let's take a look at this report.
In a grave ceasefire violation coinciding with Eid, Pakistani border forces on Monday killed 5 Indian civilians and injured 34 others in firing from across the international border in Jammu sector. The violation drew strong reactions from India, with both Defence Minister Arun Jaitley and Home Minister Rajnath Singh condemning the continuous border provocations by Pakistan and warning it of a befitting reply by fully ready Indian troops. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when asked about the situation at the border, said that everything will be fine soon. Top government sources believe that firing on the international border was a result of Islamabad's frustration over New Delhi blocking all of its attempts to internationalize the Kashmir issue. With Indian forces retaliating strongly after being given a free hand by the top officials, the question which rises is, how can peace and tranquility along the border be maintained in order to prevent loss of innocent lives?
Well, a very tense atmosphere still prevails in the frontiers. Joining me in the conversation is Brigadier Rahul Bose. He is the Director of Security Riska Asia, a defense and security think tank. Paritosh Vyas is joining us. He is the national co-convener of BJP's communication cell. And joining us all the way from Pakistan is Yasser Latif. He is an eminent lawyer and activist. Also, we have Rab Nawaz. He is the editor of Laltin. Also joining me online from Jammu is Jamil Shaheen. Jamil Shaheen is a political leader. Well, and also joining me from London is Dr. Shabir. Dr. Shabir is the director of Institute of Kashmir Affairs. Welcome to India Post Live, gentlemen. Yeah, so my first question to Mr. Yasser.
Yes.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Yasser.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
So, Mr. Yasser, it was during Eid, such a holy festival when the cross-firing happened. What's your reaction?
Well, let me first begin by saying that today is a great day for India and Pakistan. Malala and the person from India won the Nobel Prize, and this is an extraordinary achievement, Nobel Peace Prize, when at a time when we are firing at each other across the border. So this is an extraordinary moment and an ironic moment for that matter. Now, having said that, with what has gone on, I see where the situation sort of has been played in a certain light, where, because our boys are naughty, and you know whom I'm referring to, it is assumed that they are necessarily the people behind this whole exchange. The reports that we are getting here in Pakistan are that this was, unprovoked firing by the Indian forces over the border, killing a lot of Pakistani civilians. Now, I know that's exactly precisely the opposite of what you've heard in your country. So, I, not being on the ground, I can't say who's right or who's wrong, but one thing I'm pretty sure of is that given the situation right now, our naughty boys have already sort of controlled the civilian government through the dharna, the Imran Khan dharna that is going on. I don't see why they would start this unprovoked firing from our side, because they're already engaged in on 2 fronts already, and then there's the Zarb-e-Azam, which is the strikes against Taliban. So I don't see how this was sort of, a planned move on the part of our naughty boys. this was probably, a way of sort of, the new Hindu nationalist government that has come in, of showing its reversal and showing its intent. And so that's at least what I feel about the
Okay,
situation.
Mr. Yassi. Okay, thank you. We'll just get back to you. If I can have Mr. Rahul Bhosle, yeah. Sir? Hello, sir?
As you well know, what is the sequence of action which has
Hello?
taken place? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, please?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, sir? We can hear you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah. You see, the sequence of action which has happened during this course of this rather violent interaction at the line of control is pretty clear, and both the sides, the media has highlighted the same. The first action which took place and which triggered off this whole thing was two border action teams from Pakistan crossing the line of control and laying the mines in the Indian territory. Now, as a result of this, we know that one Indian soldier was killed and another one was injured. So obviously, this is going back to 2013, where there were two border action teams which had come into the Indian territory in 2013, and they had done some very gruesome, I would say, killings in this side. So that brutality was not there. It was more of a subtle notion, but it was very clear as to who has come and planted these mines. Now, if that is the incident, and this incident has been noted in the media on both the sides, whether it's Indian side or Pakistani side, so I don't think we need to take sides on that. It is absolutely a factual fact. Now, having seen this type of casualty, at times the local reactions, local reactions they start when they find that this sort of action is going from across the side. You find that no military commander will be able to accept such an action and do nothing about it. And now with the new national government coming in India, they have given a very clear mandate to the security forces that whenever you face a dilemma or like situation where you are getting something flagged from across the borders, you have got full rights to exercise whatever restriction you have. You have full rights to exercise your power to carry out counter action. Now, when a bad action happens, border action team happens, the Indian side has gone and retaliated, and thereafter the cycle has started. So you see, the line of control is such a situation where the action-reaction phenomena is once it takes on, then I think this game would entirely start. But its more second action, which is I think significant from the Pakistani side, is firing at the Arnia Bazaar. Now, Arnia Bazaar is, in Jammu region. It's one of the most sort of in the border region. It is very populated bazaar, bazaar with a lot of activity. Now, when the shelling came from the Pakistan side on the Arnia Bazaar, which was by sequence as you intended, again the action-reaction situation starts. So once the action-reaction things start, then it is very difficult to control this. But I'm glad that today, at least we have heard that there is no shelling or firing or any such thing happening here today on the line of control at the border, and I hope that this prevails. But what we have to see is both sides have to sit together and try to resolve how to avoid this action and reaction. The most important issue is the action and reaction thing has to be sorted on, and the present mechanisms which are there, obviously, they have to be expanded to ensure that in future we do not face a similar situation, because I'm not hearing the lives of
Okay,
civilians
okay,
have
sir.
been lost. The
Oh,
lives of civilians which have been lost is cannot be accepted for. Civilian lives have to be there. Of course, soldiers' lives are also precious, but civilian lives
uh,
are
Mr.
cannot be
Rahul,
accepted, please. Thank you very much.
yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. We'll just get back to you. Can I have Paritosh Vyas online, please? Mr. Paritosh? Mr. Paritosh, are you online? Okay, can I have Dr. Shabir, please, then? So there's Dr. Shabir.
Right. Well, whether India has started this, can you hear me? Whether India has started this, Pakistan has started this. As far as we people of state of Jammu Kashmir are concerned, we are forcibly divided by both countries and we are occupied by both countries. Whether Pakistani home goes on the other side or Indian home comes on the Pakistani side of the line of control, it is the people of Jammu Kashmir who suffer. We don't want India and Pakistan to fight for us. Please give it a chance. We have fought together in 1947, and you know that nothing has a positive come out of this. Can you give peace a chance? Can you talk to each other? Can you negotiate the dialogue? That peaceful way could be formed. That we don't kill each other. We have had enough. We are suffering. India blames Pakistan. Pakistan blames India. That is not the way forward. The
So,
best way forward is to unite the state of Jammu and Kashmir and let people decide what is good for them. It's no good India and Pakistan deciding what is good for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. We do not want India and Pakistan to fight over Kashmir. We are mature enough to decide what is good for us. We don't want to be part of India and we don't want to be part of Pakistan as well. To us, both are occupied. But we are suffering and enough is enough.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Enough is enough. Can I have Can I have Jamil Shaheen online?
Please.
Yeah, sir. So, sir, there's always as Dr. Shabir was saying that there's only talk. What do you feel is the only way forward to to end this standoff?
You see, first of all, we have to look into the motives. Why did it start? The question is, we shouldn't fall in the trap. Because somebody is just provoking us and wants a reaction from us, wants a strong reaction from us. Everybody wants it. I also want a strong reaction. But at the same time, one has to be prudent enough. First, let us see why they are doing it. Why on earth they have to kill their innocent civilians on the border? The question is, you have to just see it in a different perspective. Everybody has his own game in Kashmir, excepting Kashmiris. And Kashmiris are being unnecessarily, without no fault of theirs, being killed. So in this whole scenario, you have to just try to find out what is their motive. Maybe we take our response will be very stern and normally one should think of reacting in a very sharp way. But at the same time, we have to see if we are obliging them because maybe it's a trap for that thing. Because there are people who don't want peace between two countries, and then there are people who want to continue with this status quo and all these hostilities should continue because they have their own interests. So I think New Delhi has to be very cautious in its approach. But at the same time, whosoever is behind it, try to don't see the hand, see the mind behind it. They are to be taught the lesson, not the civilians on the other side of the border or this side of the border. So collateral damage from our side has to be minimized at any cost. It should be as minimum as possible.
Okay, sir. Can I have Faisal online, please? Yeah, Faisal, you are a research scholar, right?
Yes.
Yes. So tell us, Pakistan has been, is already dealing with, a lot of terror issues, the widening footprint of Taliban, say, military operations in North Waziristan. So Pakistan Army denies any role in supporting terror elements. And but do you think there are elements within the Pakistani Army which is extending support to these terror groups?
Thank you for your question. First, first part of the question that Pakistan army is fighting with the Taliban in the North-Western and the military operation is going on. That is a fact. And even yesterday we saw the visuals of Pakistani Prime Minister going to the war theatre, meeting with the officers and the soldiers, years in the operation. That highlights the magnitude of the operation that is going on. It is similar that the Pakistani military, the elements within Pakistani military are supporting the jihadis or terrorists or whatever you would like to call them. That's another entirely another matter, and we don't have any official evidence for that. Secondly, as for your earlier question that what could be related to what could be the Pakistani intentions of LOC. Now, the army is stretched across the country itself. It's fighting an internal security war. So there is no logic or no motivation even for Pakistan army to engage or to open a new front on the eastern boundary. I don't see any. I don't see any way that Pakistan army would have any motivation to open another front on the eastern side. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Shabir?
Yes, if I may come in here, yes. I mean, to start with, I know I'm going to make few people angry here. The fact is, most of the time when firing starts on LOC, it is mainly when people are trying to cross over to the Indian side of the LOC, and fire is started to cover that. And I can confirm, I have my contacts on Pakistani side of Kashmir, and of course on both sides, that militants are supported by Pakistani security agencies, and we are fed up of that. I know there's a lot of infiltration going on. There are still training camps there. There are hundreds of militants waiting to cross over, and that is the root cause. And what I said early on was that please stop this militancy, stop this gun culture. We don't want that. These militants who are camping in various parts of Pakistani occupied Kashmir, especially in Neelam Valley and Jhelum Valley, the people, local people suffer. They are intimidated. They are harassed by these militants. And they are foreign militants. They are not local people. We are fed up of that. This must stop. We cannot continue with this. And local people are resisting that. But they cannot fight these militants because they are outnumbered. They've got guns and they've got heavy weapons with them. We don't want militancy. We had enough with militancy. Yes, whoever started, we all know who's supporting them. We already know that. Pakistanis cannot escape, cannot get away with
In
by
a grave
saying
ceasefire,
we are not supporting it. They are 101% supporting militancy. I, to me, to best of my knowledge, there is no tree in Pakistani occupied Kashmir or India occupied Kashmir where gun grows or where bomb grows. These bombs and training and A4071, sorry, A47 is provided by somebody. Money is provided by somebody, and that is to kill people. We are suffering. We have lost more than 70, 80,000 people. How many more people have to die before India and Pakistan learn to live with each other peacefully, learn to live as good neighbors? I'm not blaming just one country. I hold both of them responsible because responsibility lies with both. But the fact remains, militancy was sponsored. It was a proxy war. And our purpose was not to liberate Kashmir. Purpose was something else. This jihadi culture and this militancy and this proxy war must stop if you want peace and stability in the region. It's not only Jammu Kashmir now. It's the entire peace and security of the entire region is at stake. And if you do like to fight, if you do want to resolve your issues in 21st century by use of gun, then use your big guns, guns, nuclear weapons that you kill each other. And we are also killed. We don't want to die every day. If you think that is the way forward, go ahead. But at least we know what is coming our way. We don't want to be killed day by day. And my request to both India and Pakistanis, stop fighting over Kashmir, stop this militancy, gun culture is not suitable, it's not the way forward. Dialogue, dialogue, and dialogue is the way forward.
Mr. Yasser, would you like to comment to that?
Well,
Mr.
there are no
Yasser?
two opinions about the yeah. There are no two opinions about the fact that militancy should not be there, and we should not. If the Pakistani security agencies are supporting the militancy, they should not. But here we have to go back to the root cause, and I think the only sort of solution to this entire problem is resolving the Kashmir issue once and for all. Now that's easier said than done, but that is the problem. You've got this core issue which needs resolving. India doesn't want to come onto the table. Let's just get sort of the UN resolutions. Let's implement them. And so ultimately, that is the only solution that is possible, and that would take away these factors. Now, I understand that the militancy in the 1980s and the 1990s was not there to liberate Kashmir. It wasn't. It was a strategic, tactical move by the Pakistan military for
And we
whatever reason.
suffered, yes?
Yes, absolutely. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that, and I totally feel for Kashmiris and the tragic situation, and as well as how we have the Pakistanis have actually undermined the legitimate cause of Kashmir, Kashmir's liberation according to UN resolutions. I don't know why you thought I would be angry about this. I completely agree with you.
Brigadier
But
Rahul,
can I make another point here, please?
yes, sir,
My
please go.
friend, quickly, my friend he said that implementation of the UN resolutions. If we are to go that route, Pakistan has to vacate Pakistani occupied Kashmir, i.e., so-called Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. And after Shimla agreement, both have made the Kashmir dispute bilateral, which means there's no role for the UN resolutions. There's no role for even people of Jammu and Kashmir. What we are saying is enough is enough. You have messed up Kashmir. You've killed thousands and thousands of people on both sides, and especially Kashmiris. Now let's common sense prevail and let's move forward. War is not the solution. It will just cause more misery and more suffering. UN resolution, if you want to go that route, then Pakistan has to vacate that areas, like Gilgit-Baltistan and Azad Kashmir. Practically, Pakistan has annexed Gilgit-Baltistan. That area belongs to me. It belongs to state of Jammu and Kashmir. It does not belong to Pakistan. So Pakistani designs are also clear that they are more interested in territory, strategic depth, rather than independence of Kashmir. If they are so worried about Kashmir or Kashmiri people, why do not they give rights to the people, fundamental rights to people of Azad Kashmir, fundamental rights to the people of Gilgit-Baltistan, before they care to talk about what is happening on the other side?
Well, if I
Brigadier
may
Rahul,
respond to
yeah,
that,
yeah,
if I
please.
could just respond to this, there are a few things that I would want to point out. One, the bilateralism of Shimla Treaty. Seriously, it's been 40 years. Has the Kashmir been resolved through bilateral means? It hasn't. So that is one thing. The other issue that he raised was about Gilgit-Baltistan. The previous government tried to give fundamental rights, and obviously it was criticized by Kashmiris because Gilgit-Baltistan was almost made into a province. Now that being the situation, I don't disagree. But in any event, whether you resolve it through the UN resolutions or you resorted to this sham bilateralism that has been going on for a very long time, that's not the issue. The issue is you have to once and for all resolve the Kashmir issue. Unless you don't resolve the Kashmir issue, you are going to have these kinds of incidents happening. And the fact of the matter is there are vested interests on all sides, which want to
Here's the
keep
quick
Kashmir
question. Where
involved.
is
I don't,
immediate
I don't
intervene?
deny that.
Okay, okay, on that note,
Where
Mr. Jamilia, please.
Hello?
Yes, sir, please go ahead.
The question is, everybody says we have to solve this problem, that problem. Now, please see the situation of the two countries. On Sarkri, both the countries have agreed in principle what's to be done, what needs to be done. We couldn't even move an inch on that point. Forget about Kashmir. The question is, we will not be allowed to settle this issue. First of all, you start with that thing. Whenever we travel to come closer to Pakistan, the governments are changed in Pakistan. Recently, when your foreign secretary had to come to Delhi, immediately Nawaz was being pulled under his feet. Had we not cancelled that foreign secretary's meeting, Nawaz Sharif would not have been there. Before that, Yusuf Raza Gilani, when our Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, former Prime Minister, called him the Angel of Peace. Angel of Peace was packed in the box immediately. The question is, nobody in your country is being allowed to come closer to India because there are others. This is post Second World War arrangement in which the whole of the world was divided. Germany, Korea, Vietnam, Palestine, India. And those who divided us, they will not let their investment go down the drain. Who is going to purchase these fighter aircrafts, guns and tanks and other things? First, let us start from this thing that it is not in our hands. Anybody from Indian side also, whenever they try to settle the Kashmir issue, they were not allowed. Either governments changed or the leaders died. So the basic thing is first let us think in a very positive way and think in a realistic way. Those who have created this issue, who are those people? Just first identify them. We go to them, please settle this issue. Pakistan is always has been always in international intervention, third party intervention. Why you want intervention from those people who created this issue? And it is not the Kashmir issue. Kashmir is an alibi. The main issue
Jawaharlal
is
Nehru created
hostility between the two countries.
Jawaharlal Nehru created the issue, not outside people. Just that can be one point of view.
Well,
I
excuse me,
have a,
excuse me, excuse me. These are not. This is not fact. Problem was created by Pakistan by attacking on 22nd of October 1947
no,
travel
there was an
invasion.
independent Poonch uprising. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've read history. I've worked on it. I've written a book about this.
Excuse me, you are
I
also
can
speaking
assure
to my
you, no,
expert
there
here.
was a Poonch uprising, and let's not get into the point is blaming others, blaming a third party for what we've done. I think we should grow up now. Let's resolve the issue. Let's resolve the issue instead
Okay,
of going in
if
circles
it
about
applies to all of
Okay,
you, all
I
of
would
us,
request Brigadier Rahul to come in. Sir, if you can just.
but can I just make a point here?
no,
Oh,
no. If you make a point, then I'll have to make a point.
Yeah, tell. You want me to come in?
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, no, the point is now, first part we already discussed the present standoff, which I think all the panelists are possibly agreeing that there should be some way out. Now, what is the way out? I mean, that is what we should look at. And thankfully,
Sir.
today, Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, our great child rights activist, and Malala Yousafzai, who's again, a great peace activist in Pakistan, they have been jointly honored. So I think that provides us a way ahead. And what is the way ahead? How do you structure the talks? I think the Indian position is very clear that the Indian positions want that the Shimla agreement should be the binding agreement and it should be done bilaterally. Now, the Pakistan side, on the other hand, wants to internationalize the issue. So, unless the both sides they reconcile to this situation, they reconcile to whether you want to internationalize or you want to do it on the Shimla agreement. I think first point is we have to agree that what we want to, how to go further. I think this bilateral Shimla agreement, which has been much well addressed by by both the sides for many years, the dialogue has been carried out. But only at times when the friction takes place within the Pakistan political order, I find that suddenly this internationalization starts. If former Chief of Army Staff and President of Pakistan, Pervez Musharraf, if he could speak on the Shimla agreement bilaterally with Mr. Bajpayee, with Dr. Manmohan Singh, and why cannot the other leaders speak on the bilateral issues bilaterally with India? I mean, if other leaders from Pakistan have done so, there's no point in trying to going back into history, try to do the internationalization, try to do this when bilaterally both sides have achieved a lot. And let me tell you that during the 2007 period, the soft borders have been implemented. So it is not that both sides cannot talk and cannot resolve the issue. Today you have soft borders, you have cross-border trade, you have cross-border movement of the people, which is a big achievement. Both sides can do it. So my humble request to the policymakers, to various analysts, try to resolve this issue of internationalization versus Karachi agreement. First, resolve that, and let's start with on a new slate so that we can work for peace of in Jammu and Kashmir. Firstly, very important because civilians are being harmed. It is a poor civilian in Jammu and Kashmir who's bearing the brunt. He can not only loses a life, he cannot go and do his agriculture. I mean, today is the time when you have to tend your, agriculture fields because it is a harvesting season is coming. So at this point of time, he is very much concerned about this cross-border firing, etc., etc. So I think it is high time that this issue is resolved and this action-reaction thing should be, I think, completely passed from both sides is concerned. Thank you.
So, Mr. Yasser has just said that India is reluctant to come on to come and talk about the Kashmir issue on international forum. So, your take on that, Brigadier Rahul?
You see, the point is very simple. In 1972 Shimla Agreement very clearly says that the issues have to be resolved bilaterally. Now, if both the sides leaders have agreed to resolving the issue bilaterally, I do not see any reason why we should go back on that and say internationalize the issue. That is a point number one.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll give you a
Just a
reason.
second. Please let me finish. Please let me finish then. The second issue is that it is not that both countries are incapable of resolving the issue bilaterally. If both the countries are capable of resolving the issue bilaterally, what is the use of international intervention? The third point is, wherever you find the international intervention is there, that issue has not been resolved. You take the case of Palestine, you take the case of any other place, wherever you internationalize the issue, that means more stakeholders, more policy makers, more number of agencies get into the act. And as a result, what happens is those issues, instead of getting better, they get worse. We must learn from these other countries how they're not able to solve it, and try to do something which I think both of us can very well do. We have a matured leadership in India now, and I'm very positive. Political leadership in Pakistan is also very mature. Unfortunately, the perception we get in India is that the political leadership is playing in Pakistan is not able to decide the policy towards India on its own. It is the policy is being forced by the military. I mean, this is the perception we are getting in India, and this is a perception we get by reading the Pakistani media. And if that is the perception we are getting, I think there is sound basis for the both sides, political leadership matured. I think both sides, I fully give credit to the Pakistani political leadership who have been pushing for peace. But unfortunately, they are not having the open hand to deal with India. So let us get together.
May I come in? May I come in
Just a
here?
sec, just a sec, please let me finish, and you are most welcome after that to comment. So once we both sides political leadership decides on a course which has already been successful before, I see why there is any reason for us to go international on this issue. That is the way I look at it. Thank you.
Well, if I could just give you a reason, just quickly, if I could give you a reason why I feel that has to be internationalized. This is not an issue intersea Pakistan and India. Ultimately, the issue is of the Kashmiri people and their right to self-determination. Now, Pakistan and India, by their mutual agreement, cannot, in any event, undo that basic principle. So that is the issue. That is why I think now, I just to respond quickly to some of the things that were said. I started off by saying that our boys, who are the naughty boys, are often sort of, they have a bad reputation. Yes, absolutely, that they've tried to take or they've tried to encroach on civilian authority in terms of foreign policy, especially vis-a-vis India. That is true. I have not denied that. I have actually said that at the outset. But the problem is that at this time, to link the cross-border exchange that is going on is, in my opinion, rather illogical for the Pakistan army to sort of initiate something on the LOC when it's already gotten what it wanted vis-a-vis Nawaz Sharif through its stooge, Mr. Imran Khan. It has already sort of placed and gotten the power that it wanted. So it's really not interested right now in a conflict when it's already fighting a war on with the Taliban in Zarbe Azam. So that's the other sort of thing, the point that I wanted to make.
So if I may just
Right.
come in by
Can
learned
I just make
can I
Okay,
respond to the by learned
Okay,
Pakistani?
so we'll just come back to you. We'll just come back to you, sir. Before we take the guest, we'll just run through a video response by Amir Mughal, a security analyst from Karachi. If my producer can play that video for our viewers.
Politicians on both sides of the borders who are playing to the galleries and playing and beating the drum of anti-India and anti-Pakistan respectively should go in the past and check the archives as what they used to say on peace with India, and that is valid for both sides of the borders. They should read and check their archives as to what they have said on peace with India and Pakistan. I'd rather suggest that immediately Pakistan and India should go to dialogue immediately to stop this escalation on LOC, and would appeal to the political leaders of both the countries to cool it down, not to play to the gallery on this sensitive issue. People are losing lives on both sides of the border, and that too after very serious and disastrous floods. Very sad, very, very tragic.
Okay, Dr. Shabir, before I play the video, you've been wanting to say something, Dr. Shabir?
I want to make a number of points here. Number one is that what you got to remember is that we are the fundamental party to the dispute. Our opinion should be paramount. It's not for India and Pakistan to decide what is good for us. Number two point here is that Kashmir has become a business for some people. Vested people with vested interests on both sides of the line of control and international border want the status quo to continue. If Kashmir dispute is resolved peacefully, that means lakhs of people will become unemployed on both sides, especially on the Pakistani side. Then there will be question why there is need to have a big army, why need to have F-16, so on and so forth. So there's military might in Pakistan, and thinking in Pakistan is that Kashmir should not be resolved. Some analysts say that if India present Kashmir on a plate, Pakistani establishment would refuse to take it because then there will be no issue left. So they need issue, not Kashmir issue to be resolved. But what we are saying is that fighting is not the way forward. Make people of Jammu Kashmir part of the dialogue process, have the friendly relationship between each other. Let people of Jammu Kashmir, divided Jammu Kashmir, meet. For example, why not? It should be a route going from Ladakh to Gilgit-Baltistan and other all the traditional areas where which people used to interact and meet each other. Let people meet each other. Let people trade. You cannot resolve Kashmir issue in one step, one go. It's a incremental process, and you have to have a friendly relationship between New Delhi and Islamabad, between people of both sides, and that can only be done through trade and friendship and cooperation. You cannot do that by having bombardment from each side and accusing each other. You are only creating more problems. You're making it worse. For God's sake, we are living in 21st century. You know what is going around in the region and elsewhere. You cannot resolve Kashmir or any dispute by use of gun. Get the people of Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir, genuine people, not the proxies of New Delhi, not the proxies of Islamabad. Those who want to join India, those who want to join Pakistan, their interests are safeguarded by New Delhi and Islamabad. It's people like me and all those who want to be independent. Their views should be taken on board. We are the principal party, and over views and it should be us who should be deciding that.
Okay, doctor. Okay, Dr. Shabir.
Yes.
Mr. Faisal.
Can I just come and respond to the various this thing?
Yeah, Brigadier Rahul. Yeah. So please.
Yeah. Thank you very much for giving the time. Yes, definitely. There is no doubt that it is the Kashmiri people's views have to be taken into account. We are not trying to say that the Kashmiri views people are to deny it, but the Kashmiri views to other people can be taken into account even by discussing the two bilaterally between the two states. There is no there's no embargo that the Kashmiri views cannot be taken on ground, even if India and Pakistan decide to discuss the issue bilaterally. I mean, that is what we have to understand and try to structure a dialogue in such a way
Excuse me, gentlemen,
that
we want to be part of the process at the beginning, not at the end.
I'll just come to you. So the point is, if you internationalize the issue, I'm trying to again emphasize, if you internationalize the issue, there are more stakeholders, you are complicating the whole thing. And we are no way trying to say that Kashmiri opinion should not be taken into account. But there is a form, there is a structure, there is a type of dialogue through which the process is there, and very much that it can be taken into account. But having more number of parties, having more number of internationalization, I think then you will end up having this dispute even after 60, 65 years, even today what we are speaking. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I just make a point on here? Quick point. We want to be part of the process at the beginning. It's no good India and Pakistan deciding something and then taking our views and telling us that this is good for you. We want to be part of the process.
I agree with Dr.
Absolutely,
Shabir.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. They should be part of the process and not the solution is imposed after. I completely agree with you that process
Thank
we
you
have
very
to
much.
decide.
Sir,
Both of us have to
Please,
decide the
please,
process.
please
But
amend
we don't have.
your statement, Mr. Shabir. We should be part of the drama, not the process. Because
No,
nothing
sir,
is serious about it.
no, sir, please.
This is all a drama going on for the last 60 years.
No, sir.
So please don't take it seriously.
My humble request is lot has happened on the ground, sir. Please do not decry the process. I do agree there are problems. I don't say, but lot has happened on the ground. Today the Kashmiris are able to trade across the line of control. Today they do not require a visa from moving from this side to that side. These sort of things have happened. I mean, please do not decry this process. If you and me start decrying every positive step, then we will not reach anywhere. My humble request to you is that let us support the cross LOC actions which are taking place in a positive manner. And I think we will be able to reach a point where we will be able to resolve this issue. And for the benefit of the Kashmiris, I'm fully for the benefit of them. But everybody will be able to consider both sides. We have to make some sort of a effort to negotiate. we are not even making effort to negotiate. I think that is where the problem is. Thank you.
Rahul Saab, I hope when you say that sport activities around which is taking place on LOC, I hope you mean the trade and friendly relationship, not the
Yeah,
fight.
of course, trade. And no. I am saying positive only. No, sir, sorry.
Yeah, only
I should have said the
positive.
positive aspects, and
Yeah.
which last year the trade etc. stopped for a certain period of time, but it has started again. So it implies that change of government in India does not mean that India does not support the cross-border positive developments. I mean that the Pakistani side should understand and not try to take everything what the Indian government today is doing in a negative way. No, this whole trade and everything is carrying on. People are moving. They don't require a passport. So I am meaning the positive side. Yes, please stop to the negative aspects, but positive actions should continue, should be sustained, and we should engage in a very positive manner. Thank you.
Well, with regard to LOC trade, can I just make a point that
Okay, Dr.
as far as Pakistani side is concerned, LOC trade is controlled by people of Punjab, not people of Jammu and Kashmir. Still we support it, but it is taken over by Punjabis.
Okay, Dr. Shabir.
Sir, the point that is the point, sir. The point is that Kashmiri people on both sides, I think they are developing their capacity. Today you find hundreds of students from Jammu and Kashmir studying in India. When I go to Delhi, go to Punjab, any of the universities, hundreds of the students are studying in India. They are developing the skills and the capacity. They will give tomorrow the Punjabi traders in India will be given run for the money because by the Kashmiri students who are being trained in the various universities in India across the country. And let's wait for a few years. You'll find that these traders will be they will be removed from the scene, and the Kashmiris, the Jammu and Kashmir people, both from Jammu and from Kashmir, they will start controlling the trade. Thank you.
Why not?
Well,
why not from Muzaffarabad Government
Yes,
University or Srinagar University?
Yeah, Mr.
Can
Yasir,
they
yeah,
not
please.
why not allow people of Jammu Kashmir to study in universities and colleges in Srinagar and in Jammu? That be a step forward.
Yes, sir. They are already studying. If you recall, that National Institute of Technology in Srinagar, a number of students from South India they were there. And if you recall, during this the flood disaster, those poor chaps were stuck, but they came on the TV and start saying that yes, we are stuck, but people in Kashmir have helped us. So a number of our students are also going, and they are both sides, and I think there's healthy interaction is going on. Let us see the ground. The ground factor is that youth of India are really wanting to make a change. And when I say India, it includes the state of Jammu and Kashmir. They want to have a change, and we should push them for having this change rather than trying to sort of retract from this action. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Mr. Yasir, you've been wanting to say something.
My point was that people from Muzaffarabad, from Mirpur and Ravnakot, they should be allowed to study in institutes in like medical, engineering or other courses in Jammu and Srinagar. That was my point. Not from people coming from Srinagar.
Okay,
Yeah,
sir.
I could make-
Yes, Dr. Yeah, Mr. Yasir, please.
Yes. So, well, one of the points that I totally believe that the sort of economic and educational exchanges are the key to it. Unfortunately, one of the things that happened recently last year was when a group of Kashmiri students supporting the Pakistan cricket team were expelled from an Indian university. That kind of incident obviously creates a lot of mistrust. In terms of Punjabis controlling the trade along the LOC, yes, but you see the Prime Minister, Pakistan's Prime Minister is also a Kashmiri. So I just wanted to sort of put that in there. It's a very mixed situation. There are a lot of Kashmiris who are Punjabis and Kashmiris. It's a multiple identities concept.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Yasir. Well, we've also got few of video responses on the entire India and cross-border fighting. Let's just take a look at these video response.
While it may be a little bit unrealistic to expect both parties to forget the past, I think the time is now to realize that for regional peace, we need to work towards mutually shared goals. And with the creation of NDB, I mean, there is that opportunity to, engage each other in economic activities which ensure development and growth for South Asia. And the thing is that we don't need to go into who started what first, right? The point is that both parties have a stake in peace and solidarity within South Asia, and I think it's this hype is unnecessary. It's not conducive to regional stability, and this needs to stop.
Cross-border tensions in Pakistan-India relations are whatever media makes of them, and unfortunately what we've seen on both sides here is terrible jingoism, is hatred on both sides. And we will never know who shot first or who's the aggressor here, because both sides are playing the victim. What we need here right now is the Foreign Office to do its job, which it's doing, and the media to shut up on this, because it's just...
I think that both countries have time and again pledged that we want regional peace and we want a solution to the Kashmir issue, and cross-border tensions are both deplorable. And very recently, both prime ministers of India and Pakistan, they went to the UN and they said, we want peace on both sides. The thing is that when incidents like these happen, you realize that our leaders are talking just hollow words. The rhetoric changes, but fact remains the same, policies remain the same, and it makes you wonder how serious are both governments and both security forces from both sides, how serious they are to a commitment to regional peace. And I think that once they settle these cross-border violations, I think they could go a long way in solving our problems with each other.
Okay, well, we've almost come to the end of our show. Mr. Yasir, your last comments on what's the only way forward, sir?
The only way forward is obviously Pakistan, India, and the Kashmiri people sitting together and resolving the Kashmir issue once and for all. That is the only solution, whatever the decision may be. So it doesn't matter what my point of view is, or what Shabir Saab's point of view is, or what Rahul Saab's point of view is. But whatever the solution, but it should be by consensus or by, first and foremost, by the consensus of the Kashmiri people, and then Pakistan and India. So that's
Yasir Saab,
yeah,
do you
Dr.
accept
Shabir.
that? Yasir bhai, do you accept that people of Jammu Kashmir should be allowed to become independent?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If they want, they should be.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Jamelia, sir, your last comment on what's the way forward, sir? Okay, Brigadier Rahul, we seem to have lost connection with Mr. Jamelia. Brigadier Rahul, yeah.
Yes, I think the point is we should not miss out the point about cross-border terrorism. If we don't speak about cross-border terrorism, both sides, India and Pakistan, have to speak about cross-border terrorism. Otherwise, you will keep going round in circles and circles and forget about the aspirations of the Kashmiris or whatever issue. The whole thing will just try to, get again into the hands of those people whom many of the panelists called those people who are some sort of wrongdoing things, etc., etc. So I think we have to talk also about cross-border, but talks is the way forward. I fully agree with my fellow panelists. Thank you.
Thank you, Brigadier Rahul. Dr. Shabir.
Yes, I agree that terrorism in all shape and forms must stop. And all those who are sponsoring terrorism, they must be condemned. And terrorism has to be fought back. You can't choose that a good terrorist and a bad terrorist, a good Taliban or a bad Taliban. Good jihadi and bad jihadi, you can't have that. Time of that is over. Yes? And now we have to move forward by accepting that peaceful resolution has to be found. And like other panelists have suggested that LOC trade and mutual trade between India and Pakistan, friendly tours, all these could be measures should be taken to create a friendly environment.
Thank you.
Only by having then again, of course, please, by involving people of Jammu Kashmir, in the discussions and the debates, and letting people of Jammu Kashmir meet. Why is it that I can't go to New Delhi? Why is it why I can't go to Srinagar and Ladakh? Vice versa, why people of Srinagar can't go to Mirpur and Muzaffarabad? Can you facilitate this, that the people meet each other?
Thank you, Dr. Shabir. Mr. Jamelia, your last thoughts and comments, sir. Mr. Jamil? Can you unmute your mic, sir, please? Mr. Jamil? Can
Able
you
to hear anything? Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, your last thoughts and comments, sir. What's the only way forward, sir?
Sir, the only way forward is to forget about the past. You cannot rewind anything. At the day we say to hell with UN and to hell with those powers who divided India and their order, we have to forget about that. We take British dictates of 47 as if it's a Bible. The question is we have to move forward. The only way is just forget about past. Let us start from here. That's my only request to everybody. Lots of blood has been shed. I think enough is enough. We are already devastated by floods, and we were expecting a little bit of sympathy from other side also, not guns on our citizens. Please have mercy and be human. This is my appeal to everybody on both sides of this border.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mr. Jamil. I thank all my panelists here. Thank you so much with your thoughts and comments. Well, that's all we have for you on this show. Do write in to us your feedback and comments on www.indiapostlive.com. You can also send us your tweets at #IndiaPostLive or @IndiaPostLive. You can also go to our Facebook page and post your comments there. Thank you for watching the show. Good night.